All right, crude oil. Sunday, December 11th, 2022. The one thing that has served me really well for the last many months is these longer time frames. Looking at the fibs, watching the candles, applying a little bit of strat method has been very helpful on the longer time frames. The further you drill down is where all the craziness is, and this thing is zigzagging and crisscrossing and breaking all kinds of levels when you don't think it would, and it does, and it's just been incredibly difficult. But what keeps me scalping on the short side and day trading to the short side are these longer time frames. So real quick, the monthly, go ahead if you're interested in technical stuff, if you're interested in the strat, look up the strat 50% rule, and you will see on this monthly, this was absolutely perfection. It made a nominal new high in November, and because it was weak sauce and it could not get any traction to the upside, when it starts coming back down, the strat folks observe the previous candle, and if price gets, after making a nominal high, if price gets below the 50% level of that previous candle, the odds are high that you're going to break the bottom of that candle. I mean, that in itself is a trade. That is a specific strat trade. I don't necessarily trade that literally. I do use it as for clues. So that was really obvious, and it helped me to keep scalping short and sticking to the short trades. Okay, it's just perfection, strat 50% rule right there on the monthly. All right, so we got the big fat outside candle in November, which drives everybody crazy because inside of that it's just whipping around and breaking all kinds of hearts and breaking rules and crisscrossing levels. That's what outside candles do. And then in the month of December so far, we are having a deliciously down month. And I've been scalping and trading to the downside. And yes, of course, I take heat. I get things wrong all the time. But at the end of the day, I'm making money because I'm letting these longer time frames guide me. Bearish, bearish, bearish on the monthly until it's not. Weekly, same thing. And also, not this past week, but the week prior was also an outside candle. Absolutely same exact rules. Strat 50% rule works on all time frames. Worked beautifully again on the weekly. It's just perfection. So here we are coming down. On the weekly, I've got a 200 fib at 69.75. Somehow, I just don't think that's enough. It came within 33 cents of that. Now, I don't know. Go look at the professionals. I'm just saying there's a fib there. But as we know in commodities, wave fives often extend. I would expect that to extend. It's bouncing a little bit now. We'll take a look as we drill down. But I think it's more likely that it comes past 69.75. But what do I know? I'm just talking. So here's that same thing on the daily. Here's the 69.75 fib. It just looks, I don't know. It just looks the timing, it just looks like wave 5 would need to take up more time to be proportionate. And also, I think it should extend. I think it's going to come down more. Just because it would look more symmetrical. It would look more proportionate if the wave 5 of this degree here took a little longer. I mean, this is just the daily. So, maybe another week. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe another week or more would be better. It would plus give me a chance to keep scalping short a little more before I have to really start making decisions. Okay, so there you go. And the technicals are clearly bearish on the daily. So again, more targets down there. Now let's look at this is where it gets weird. Once you get past the daily, it just starts getting really weird. It's hard to count. Is that the 3? Is that a 4? I don't know. Is that the 3? Is this a 4? I like this. I moved these. These make more sense to me. So if this is wave 5, again, you've got some targets down here, right? I mean, could wave 5 be over? Could it just be done? Yeah, I suppose so. These red fibs are for this larger degree structure here. So, okay, so this is not counting this internal structure of this wave 5. This is the overall 5-wave structure. So, again, it's interesting fibs. There are similar fibs down here. Just call it, 69 to 67, somewhere down here. So, and look at the technicals. Very mixed messages on the technicals. Very mixed. As soon as you get to the 4 hour, very mixed. Lots of conflicting signals. trying to bottom, can't. There's a bunch of buying going on, then a bunch of selling. It's crude oil is football. It ain't baseball. It's football. It's really more like ice hockey sometimes, really. So there's a battle going on here for where is this thing going to bottom. And you see some massive buying coming in. And then as soon as they stop buying, there's no more buyers, and it gets sold off. That's just what's happening. And that creates this whippy, very difficult stuff. There's just conflicting messages everywhere. These are positive divergences on the 1 hour that keep, I guess they work a little bit because you do get a little uptick, but they just get sold off. So these positive divergences aren't like the beginning of anything, which is what I'm always looking for. And they fail. So even though, this in itself is a positive divergence. Look on the 1 hour. These levels keep making higher lows, but price keeps making lower lows. Well, sooner or later, that condition is going to change. You can very clearly see that, right? All of these technicals are coming up while price is coming down on the 1 hour. This is what I'm saying. Once you get below 4 hours, it's crazy. So if you just kind of forget the technicals for a second and just imagine if this is the bottom of a wave 3 of that wave, if we're now looking at this final structure down, which should be a 5-wave structure, right? Then if this is the final leg of that, then there's a couple of different options. The more reasonable option would be this is the bottom of wave 3. This is wave 4 coming up into here. It shouldn't get much above the middle of this box. Just call it the mid 72s. I'm not saying it will go. Look, I'm not saying anything. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't want to see it. For me personally, I would love to see it come up into here, anywhere in the lower half, bottom half of this box, and then give you one more miniature little 5-wave move down, somewhere down into here. There is a chance, because of the way this measures, that it's actually these fibs that are more in play, which gets you down, below 65 potentially. So, but it's also possible that the bottom is much closer than that. Call it 60, like I was saying, 67 to 69, somewhere in there. All right, so that's the deal, and good luck.